In this video we're going to be multiplying monomials. So before I start, just a little reminder, a little review, that a monomial simply just means a polynomial with only one term. So for example, (5x) is a monomial, one term only. So we can multiply that by another monomial, such as 2x, and we have monomial multiplication. So the first method I'm going to show you is using models. So the way you start is to just draw yourself a frame. And then we can begin modeling. So the legend that we use is our algebra tiles. So the first one here, first term, 5x. So it's positive because there is no integer sign, and we know as soon as there's no integer sign it's automatically positive. And our x's are these green rods here. So we need 5 of those. So I'm just going to draw 5 green rods across the top to represent my 5x. Okay, so that takes care of my first monomial. So now I can model the second one. So 2x. So again, no integer sign, so we know it's positive, and it's an x. So again, same thing, the green rods. And this time we need 2 of them. So we go along the vertical edge, line them up, and draw 2 x's. So now in each of the positions inside of here, we can see it's an x by an x. Well, what does an x by x, or x times x, make? It makes an x squared. And furthermore, they're both positive, so we have a match here. As soon as we have a match, it means the answer is going to be positive. So each of these turns into a positive x squared. So we fill in a positive x squared for every x along the top. And for every x along the side as well. So now I just count up what I'm left with inside of my frame here. So I've got, well, first of all, we know these are all positive x squared, and I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of them. So my answer then is positive 10x squared. So that's how I use models to solve monomial multiplication. So another example that I'll give you is 3x times 2y. See, now this one is a bit different because we have different variables. But we're going to start the same way. So we need to start with a frame. And then our first monomial, 3x. Positive, because there's no integer sign, so automatically positive. So I'll just take a look at my legend here. Positive x, the green rods again. So pull out my green, and across the top, I'm going to model out that first monomial. So 3 positive 3x. 1, 2, 3 of those. Okay, and this time we're not timesing it by more x's, we're timesing it by 2 y's. We know it's positive because there's no integer sign. So if I look at my legend and I look for positive y, so these orange rods. So I'll take out my orange, and I need 2 of those. And when you see the actual algebra tiles, they are shorter than the x's. So I'll try and make them a little shorter in my drawing. So now, in every single one of these spots inside of my frame, I have a y by an x. Y by an x. So to fill that in, it's not going to be an x squared because I'm not doubling up on x's, but instead it's going to be down here an xy. Okay, now to answer whether it's positive or negative, well, as soon as we have a match on the two sides of our frame, we know it's positive. If it was a mismatch, then it would be negative. But it's a match. So, gotta fill all these in positive. So I fill an xy underneath each of these x's and alongside each one of these y's to complete my model. And my answer is now inside of my frame. So now I just have to count up. I know each of these was a positive xy, so I've got 2, 4, 6. So equals positive 6 xy. There we go. So I'm just going to show you one more model because I just want to show you what happens if one of our monomials is a positive and the other one is a negative. So, same start, draw that frame, longer over here, and model it out. So, first one, 2x, positive, because there's no integer sign. So if I look at my legend, it's the green rod. So I need 2 of those going across the top, and they are positive, so shade them in. Times negative 4x. We're still working with x, so we're just looking at the opposite side of that tile. But we need to keep them unshaded because they're negative. So 1, 2, 3, oops, I'm a little bit short here. 4. Extend that a bit. Okay, so if we look what we have here now, we've got positives on tops, negatives on bottom. Okay, so we've got a mismatch. So can she wear it? No, negative. So that means we still have x by x in here, but it has to be the negative x squared. So as soon as your two frames don't match, you know you need to draw negatives. So a negative x squared here and here, so in line with those 2 at the top, and then just keep going. Negative x squared, negative x squared. And I filled in the whole array. So now for my answer, just like every other time, I just need to count up. So I know they're all negative x squared. And I've got 2, 4, 6, 8. So my answer then is negative 8x squared. So that's how we multiply monomials using models, algebra tiles.